So, Arjen, you are the special makeup designer on the movie Wonder, which is one of the big surprise box office hits of this year. Why do you think this movie has resonated so much with so many people?
I think, I mean, it's just such a left turn from anything that's out there right now. I remember during filming, me and Steven had a moment where we thought, you know what, this might be something really good. I think, it's just overall a positive message, and in the times we live in with so much going on, and I think I wasn't that surprised to see it was doing this well, actually, but. Yeah, I think overall, I mean, it's a family film. It's a feel-good film.
Now, just to give some background into the movie, it's about a child who has a severe facial deformity, has had several plastic surgeries in order to be able to see, to be able to eat, to be able to do all of the things that we take for granted. So talk about the challenge of creating something that is believable, but also shows off these various deformities that this child has.
Right. Well, when I read the book, Auggie was quite. I mean, his facial differences are quite severe. I knew when we were going to do the film, there's only so much physically you can do with makeup, and it's just trying to find that right balance. And I think we did several tests trying to copy Treacher-Collins syndrome, which is the condition that Auggie has, and therefore the underdeveloped ears, cleft palate, teeth, underdeveloped cheekbones, which makes their eyes droop. So just trying to find the right balance on that it was the main first thing to tackle. Really, was Jacob gonna feel comfortable still in it, acting, and seeing if it was even possible. I had a slight idea that it could be done, but unless you test it, you don't know. Plus, you're dealing with a minor that young. He can only go through so much, but he was great. And I think, and I remember after the first tests in my studio and everybody showed up from Lionsgate and Steven was here, I think there was a big moment of relief that, okay, this is going to work. We can do this as a makeup on an actor.
So how many different, I guess, different trials did you go through? I mean, what was that process like?
I believe we went to 2 or 3 different tests. Jacob flew out from Vancouver with his family to my studio here in LA, and just different makeup tests. And then I think we did 3 or 4 different sculpts. I believe it was 3, just resculpting the facial prosthetics after they were, after Lionsgate viewed the footage, and we went from there basically. But I think it was about 2 months, yeah, from the time we started filming.
Now, you are a makeup veteran. Just looking through some of your credits, I mean, you've worked on things as diverse as Pan's Labyrinth, World War Z, Maleficent, just to name a few. Some far-out makeup designs in a lot of these. Is it more difficult for you to work on things like that, or is it more difficult to work on things like this, which have to be based in some kind of reality?
This is far more difficult, even though it's subtle. Like with a creature or with a monster, you can at least maybe get away with some stuff in the sense of where pieces end, or because you're making something that's fantastical in a way. With this, you're dealing with something that's seen on an actor. In this case, like a human face is very hard. People see that every day. So if there's a flaw or something that doesn't quite look right, you obviously think, oh, okay, well, even subconsciously, you probably realize, even if you don't do makeup, you're like, well, that looks kind of odd. And now with Auggie, of course, he has a facial difference, but it still needed to be a look. I mean, mind you, his entire face and neck and everything is covered in prosthetics. So everything is made out of silicone, an artificial material. He wears lenses, he wears teeth, like literally nothing is his own. And so to make that believable, yeah, you have to, obviously go through some tests, but that is a hard part, is to make the skin tones, the eyebrows, everything has to look real.
Take us through the day-to-day applications of this sort of thing.
Well, once we arrived in Vancouver, with a minor that young, you can only shoot so many hours. So one of the main concerns from production was like, how long is this makeup going to take? Now the first couple of days you're always kind of figuring out, trying to find a pattern, but he was in makeup about 40 days, and we actually got it down to 1 hour and 15 minutes by the end. But I think it took about 1.5 hours actually. I know in the media it was mentioned that it was 2 hours, but it was never 2 hours because that would have killed me. So from door to door, so Jacob would come in and we would just start the process, and then often he would watch a documentary or something that could count for his school hours, and then 1.5 hours in we would be done. So that's actually incredibly fast for makeup that intense. Normally you're looking at 3 to 3.5 hours for that.
Were there any major influences on your work? I mean, be it in movies or real life research that you did?
Sorry, I'm not quite understanding the question.
I mean, did you draw upon, what did you draw upon in order to create?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to Auggie, I basically did as much research as I could on Treacher Collins. Again, that's the condition he has. I contacted several hospital in Chicago with Dr. Patel. He was very helpful. He treats kids with real Treacher Collins. They were nice enough to send me some reference. It's basically studying, and then also just start sculpting on Jacob's life cast, because again, there's only so much you can do. Lionsgate is looking for balance, you know. So it's a combination of different things, but basically looking at a lot of medical files. Yeah.
Was there a particularly difficult aspect of the makeup, be it, I mean, the cleft chin or the ears or anything like that? I mean, or was it all just, you know?
I think the most difficult aspect was to find a way to make his eyes droop, because Jacob's eyes in real life don't droop. So underneath this makeup, we constructed a carbon fiber underskull helmet that he would wear underneath the wig and the prosthetics that had a wire and lock system underneath the wig, and they were connected to the eye bags. So when we would start filming, I mean, I knew I couldn't glue his eyes down for 9 hours. But I didn't know, well, what if we come up with a system that we could pull it down, but also could relax it in between takes, or he had lunch or something like that. And that works. So there's a wire system there that pulls the eye bags down and make them appear droopy. The problem that gave us was that he kind of looked almost like he was in a fire, or he was in a, he didn't look, you know, something was strange looking, like it was melted. So we enlarged the irises with lenses. So Jacob's eyes are actually enlarged with lenses, contact lenses. And that eliminated that look. It's very subtle, so most people will never know, but it's very effective. The lenses were very, very important to this makeup. And luckily Jacob, as a little of a trooper he is, was able to wear them. Yeah.
I was going to ask, I mean, if you talk a bit about the importance of having a compliant or you know, an actor who understands what they have to go through what you have to go through in order to achieve this kind of makeup.
Yeah, well, when I first met Jacob and his parents, I kind of also made sure that they understood what they were up against, because any actor will find that to be hard on them every day. But let alone his age. So I said, you know, it's fun 1 or 2 times, but then it's going to become hard every day, and especially with 40 days. I cannot think of another film in history where a 9-year-old has been, as a lead, has been in full prosthetic makeup. I mean, there's other kids in films with makeup, but in prosthetics, but never as a lead in full silicone. So we couldn't lean on anything. It wasn't you know, I had moments where I'm like, I'm not sure if he can do this, you know. But I had a good talk with his parents, and they fully understood going into what this is going to take. You know, and as much as it is a commitment, in the end, I think it also very much pays off, because it not only helped him find the character of Auggie, but also, I remember Julia saying, this helps us a lot as well on set. You know, you react to seeing him, and that does something, you know.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about your background. What got you into doing this for a living? What inspired you to get into makeup?
I was very young when I started into my interest in makeup. I think it was about 9, and with movies like Never Ending Story, Terminator, Harry and Henderson's, Gremlins, and it never left me. So I still have a strong passion for makeup, and I have my own studio now. But by the time I was 16, I moved to Amsterdam. I went to makeup school. I'm from Holland originally. I started studying with Dick Smith, known for The Exorcist and Amadeus, and he introduced me to people in Los Angeles. I was around 19, Stan Winston, Rick Baker later, and so yeah, I came out when I was 19, and you know.
And for your work, you've been recognized by the Makeup and Hairstylist Guild with a nomination for your work on Maleficent. People in my quarters are talking about this in terms of awards recognition. What does that kind of recognition mean for you?
Well, when it comes to the Guild, the 706 Guild, a lot, because you get that particular nomination from your peers, and that does mean something. They're all people that have been around and know the craft, and so I'm very honored. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, this is a wonderful movie and great work.
Thank you.
Makeup. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.